Okay, so I've done a rant before, and I have another rant. So, for those that don't know, I am in Kigali, Rwanda. I've been living here for over 2 years. And essentially, I'm on my own. I think, I've been thinking about this and I was like, this is a country where you really need to, unless, okay, let me put it this way. In my situation, it's not like I came here for work, right? Maybe if I came with a company that would help me find housing and I knew people already from the company and I had a regular paycheck and that would allow me to go back and forth when I had time either to travel or to go back home, it would have been a better situation. But in my case, I think when you come here, I remember watching another lady who had lived here for also I think almost 2 years. She's Black American, and I know she said she was like me in her 40s and came here on her own. And she was saying she noticed that for those who have families, it's better, it's easier because you already have a built-in support system, right? If you come husband, wife, kids, or maybe you come with your mom or a dad or your sister or your brother or a friend, somebody, right? You would have some kind of support because I noticed that dealing with things on my own here, it's just a battle. It's just a battle. And I didn't plan this video, so it's not like it's scripted. It just happened right now, and I thought, let me vent. So I've already vented about taxis, and it's still ongoing. It's still ongoing. I had a break from it when I went to Johannesburg and to Nairobi. It was so much easier to get around, so much easier because they have I used Uber, but they have Bolt and other ride sharing apps. So it was so easy. And I come back and it's like the same thing over and over and over again. Nothing improves, nothing. I've given, for example, with the taxi company, I've given them so much feedback. I've talked to the drivers. Nothing changes. It's almost like, whatever. And it's the most frustrating thing when it feels like, I used to say nobody cares, but people are so indifferent here. Maybe that's a better way of saying it. Indifferent. But really, it just seems like nobody cares about anything. Nothing. 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 When I say that, I mean like when you give feedback and say, oh, this is, if something is problematic or it can be done a better way and you see how it's affecting me negatively and you just don't care. So let me get into it. So I live in a neighborhood that's not too, now it's changing. It's going to take a long time for it to become like other neighborhoods where, the roads are developed. Still in front of my house, I've said this a million times, it's a dirt road. Even though they built the road to get into my neighborhood, they paved it. My neighborhood is still dirt road, which is a whole nother story because the dust that comes in, and I don't have someone to clean regularly in my house, and it's a house. I say my house, my mom bought it, but I'm the one living here, right? So this issue, I'm not gonna get into, I'm getting sidetracked, is with the garbage pickup, trash pickup. There is a company, right? But the people they send, it almost seems like, I don't know, I guess they have some kind of uniform, but it's not like the truck comes. They come, they ring the bell, they take the garbage. Sometimes they dump it into their own sacks and take it, or sometimes they'll take it somewhere far and then bring back your garbage bin. So when I did have someone working for me regularly in the house, it wasn't a problem because they were always available to open the door. But it's been since, oh my God, I don't even know. It's been a year that I have not had a regular person working for me. That's also on a whole nother story. I've went through so many. I had a girl for 8 months and I had to let her go. I haven't been pleased with anybody. So when I first moved here, they used to come Fridays at a certain time. And then it switched to Tuesdays. Who knows what time, because like I said, when I did have someone, I didn't have to think about it. But when I'm the only one in the house, I do have to think about it. And they would come random time. It was never consistent. Some days would be Friday. Some days would be Tuesday. Some weeks, there was one week, some weeks they didn't even come. the the only contact I had was a lady that used to come around. She doesn't come around anymore. That would come to remind me. I know it's gonna be a long rant to come and pay the bill. It's like 5,000 per month. So I would call her. Limited English, of course, so it's hard to communicate. I would say, when are they coming? Are they coming tomorrow? I mean, I called her so many times that she got tired of me and finally gave me a manager's number. I called him and he gave me another, maybe somebody else above him. And this is, mind you, I'm condensing it. This is months and months and months of begging for them to give me a heads up. Because at one point my doorbell also wasn't working. I was like, now y'all really got to tell me ahead of time. If you know you're going to come on a Tuesday, why don't you call me? Why don't you let me know Monday? So then I'll be ready. If I have an idea that you're coming Tuesday at 10 or around 10, it don't even have to be on time, because nobody's on time here. But at least I have an idea and I can be ready. I have security cameras so I can see it on my phone. But if you don't tell me, how would I know? First of all, I may not be home, because a lot of times they used to come in the afternoon. Yes, there's times, of course, there's a lot of times I stay home. But if I'm out, then I'm not going to be available. So I begged and begged and begged. I mean, for months. So sometimes it would be like 2-3 weeks where the garbage wasn't picked up. And I asked the through the help of someone interpreting for me, I asked the security guard next door. I'm like, do they come consistently? And she was like, no, they don't. They be coming on random days. So I've talked to upper management. And I said, please, is there a way that they can come every week on the same day? And if they're not, let me know ahead of time. I begged and begged, begged and begged. And it seemed like maybe for a few weeks, they were kind of coming. They were coming Wednesday, but then sometimes Thursday. So like last week, I missed it. I think they came on a Wednesday, and on Thursday, I was like, did they come today? And he sent them specifically for me, which is fine. Cut to today. They came. I saw my security cameras. They came at 7 in the morning. And I was asleep. I got up at 8. So I saw it in the cameras and I called him, and he was like, I said, I've talked to you for months and I've begged you if I don't understand why. I don't know how they choose when they come. Why can't they come on the same day and around the same time? If I don't know when they're coming, I don't have someone working for me. He's like, are you home now? I'm like, that's not the point. I can't be doing this SHIT every effing week. And the reason I'm so hyped up is, again, it's happened for 1 year that I've been going back and forth between the lady that used to come to collect the money or to remind me to pay with the managers for a year. I will say this, things like this, nothing improves. You can shout, it's not even shouting. You can give feedback, you can try to reason, to be logical, to try to tell doesn't matter. And to deal with little things like that with everything in my life here, oh my God. You may think like, oh, what is it to get upset about? Yeah, when you're the only one, again, I don't have other people with me. So literally everything I gotta deal with the garbage people, with the electricity people, with the internet people. When I do have someone to clean, when I can find someone that comes, everything with the taxis. When you deal with it and everything seems similar to this, it's very difficult. So I couldn't even talk to him. I was just like, you know what? Like, if you knew they were coming at 7 in the morning today, why couldn't you give me a heads up? I've been talking to you for months. So you know my situation. So you can give me a heads up and be like, oh, they're coming tomorrow around 7, 8. I would have been awake and ready, but I didn't know. So it's just my rant. This is the kind of stuff I've been dealing with. And this is in addition to trying to open a business that never opened, with the stress of that. Yeah, so you can have patience, but I'm sorry, like at some point, it's just hard to just be like, oh, it's okay. Nothing bothers me, which is how everybody here is. On the surface, it looks like it's a good thing, but I feel like I want to be like that. We're humans. We have emotions.